Like, I got good prices on everything I picked up at the flea market, and I came in with some cool things for the collection. My first boxed N64 and my first boxed NES console, and yep, glad to get them. But that was not the end of my day, so it's not the end of the video. I went on to all my other favorite Pensacola game stores, and I'll tell you all about them. First, I went to... Oops, sorry for the bag noise. It's just a bag full of stuff. And that's why I'm the most professional YouTuber on YouTube. Yep. So, went to one of my favorite places, Hyperspace Toys in Pensacola, and picked up the following. We got Blades of Steel for the original NES. I guess that's the only NES game I got. I got that again because if you remember in the previous video, I got a Blades of Steel box and manual, so now I have the game and it'll be part of the collection. Hurrah! Let me get these out of the way. I picked up their whole box full of these kind of things and just kind of used it as my shopping basket as I was going around the store. And anyway, so it's a handful of these. There's like 3 or 4 of these NES sleeves and 3 or 4 of these Super Nintendo dust covers for $1 a piece. $1 a piece. This is actually a pretty good price for these. You start to see them for stupid prices on eBay and stuff. Those over there out of the way. Yeah. Continuing my build-up of Xbox games, I picked up some more randos for the for the console, including Without Warning. Sorry, I didn't let you know that was coming. It is a military shooter from Capcom, and it's complete. And I also picked up Tecmo Classic Arcade collection here. And this is only on Xbox for some reason. And you can play 11 classic games, including the original Tecmo Bowl arcade version, and Rygar, and Bomb Jack, which I guess is the prequel to Mighty Bomb Jack, and, you know, a whole bunch of the Tecmo arcade games, like Solomon's Key. Anyway, you can see on the front those games. And going back to filling up some cases I had that were empty, we picked up some DS, bangers, including My Sims Agents. Filling up the box there. And everybody's number 1 DS hit, Megamind, the Blue Defender. I remember kind of liking the Megamind movie, but I haven't seen it in 15 years or something like that. Chess for Kids. This is for kids, so don't try to play it, grown folks. And see, I'm just going to put it in the box and I'll never touch it because it's for kids. And finally, one for the grown-ups, Garfield Gets Real. Again, filling up a box. And last but not least, I'm really not supposed to tell you about this. I'm not sure why they even let me out the door with this, but did some negotiating, some real cloak and dagger kind of discussions and under the table. Anyway, don't tell nobody, because these are top secret. That's right, it's Nintendo Power's Top Secret Passwords Nintendo Player's Guide. So keep it on the hush there, on the down low, keep it quiet. Because otherwise people will find out that I have the secret top passwords for Adventure Island 2 and Super Adventure Island. And if I want to tell somebody about how to warp to 2029 in Shadow of the Ninja, I could be hauled off to jail. So don't tell nobody that I got top secret passwords for my Nintendo Entertainment System and Super Nintendo. I always like those players' guides. They had one that was the Mario Mania kind of Mario retrospective, and I think it had a full walkthrough of Super Mario World and maybe all the Mario games. Anyway, another Nintendo Power guide, and but it was complete with the poster, which was cool, but they wanted like $40 or something for it, and I didn't want to spend that kind of money. So $10 for the top secret password, and it was fine by me. They also had the 4-player game guide. I remember I used to have that, and I maybe I should have picked it up, but it was also like $10, and yeah, I let it go this time. Moving on. Went to another store. This is called the Video Game Trading Post, I believe. And if I'm wrong, there you go. And this is the place that I discovered last year, and I was just gawking at everything in there because they have loads and loads of high-end games, like all the most expensive PS1 and PS2 games, and they have a TurboGrafx 16 console, which I considered, and some games for it, and all sorts of different editions of various consoles, special editions, and you name it, they probably have it. But at the end of the day, since I had already spent my my Christmas and birthday money on the NES and N64 at the flea market, I decided to, settle the old wallet down and only get a few things at the trading post. But I could have been there. They have all sorts of great games, boxed NES games that are in a separate case from the one they have on the wall, that are like the really top dog ones, and the N64 games too, and all that stuff. So I really wanted to get Turtles in Time on the Super Nintendo, of course, but it was a little out of my price range. It was they wanted well over $200 for it. It might have been as much as $400. I don't know, some crazy thing. Whatever. So here's what I got. I went with I kind of stuck to the Xbox section again. For collecting, original Xbox and even Xbox 360 tend to be rather cheaper than the competitors from Sony's consoles and Nintendo's consoles. Nintendo stuff always tends to go up and stay up in price, and PlayStation prices are up too, but Xbox, you can find some steals. So I'm still collecting for the 360 and the original Xbox, so because I still play them. So here we go. We have Warhammer 40K Space Marine. This is a shooter. I think it's a third-person shooter. Maybe FPS, but I think it's third-person shooter. It's a little hard to tell with the light on here. You tell me. I am War, says it right there. I'm beginning to get into the Warhammer like lore, particularly. I think it's pretty cool, and I have some games that I can check out, and I'm in the middle of reading book series and all that stuff. So, hurrah for some Warhammer! I'm excited to give this a play on the Xbox 360, and it was $20, which was fine. Then I got Serious Sam and Serious Sam 2 on the original Xbox. I have a loose disc of original Serious Sam, but I figured I would go ahead and just get the complete copy here and sell my loose copy. And I didn't have a copy of Serious Sam 2. So anyway, yep, two complete copies, and they are just your basic meat and potatoes first-person shooters from like somewhere between where like the Quake games ended up and where like Halo went. These are from a simpler time, and you know, you just shoot a bunch of stuff, and that's usually pretty fun. So Serious Sam, I always wanted to play these, and now I have my chance. I think there's another one on the PS2, and there may be another on PC. Heck, I don't remember. But I'm glad to have a couple to give a go on my Xbox. And then we get into the portion of the pickups that we call the bad games. And but darn it, I was intrigued by them, so I wanted to go ahead and get them. So here we go. We got The Walking Dead Survival Instinct, which I saw on Worst Games Ever on Triple Jump, and everybody they said it was bad, and everybody says it's bad, but you know, you play as Daryl, you're shooting zombies in the face with crossbow bolts, and it's probably bad, but it's fine. I'm excited to give it a try. This is a prequel to the Walking Dead TV series, but yeah, you got good old Daryl and Brother Merle there, and all that good stuff. Shooting zombies, I always like that. And continuing the bad game train, we have Drake of the 99 Dragons. And this is on the original Xbox. I've seen this on, I think, on Worst Games Ever and on Angry Video Game Nerd. So it's one of those games that is kind of notoriously bad. But I have a soft spot for bad games and bad movies and stuff like that, so it had to come home with me. I actually saw, this was by far the best condition copy that I saw of this on this trip. And the other, I saw one that didn't have a manual, and there was another one in the store that I did a little swapping. Like, I swapped out the case art from one case to the other so I could have the best case and the best case art and the manual and the best copy of the game all in one thing, which was not. It took a little doing in the store, but they were okay with it. And yep, so came in with that, $12. Drake and the 99 Dragons. Of the 99 Dragons. Yeah, the person behind the counter was like, you know what these games are, right? I was like, oh yeah, I know what I'm getting into.
So after jumping around, shooting at nothing for a minute, you finally kill the first bad guy and get another awkward cutscene. This is where the voice acting gets real good.
Presence inside it. A soul? Oh, what was that? Intruders in the penthouse of the 99 Dragons clan? You must be out of this world to get past our guards.
What the hell does that mean?
And speaking of knowing what you're getting into, Jekyll and Hyde, or more specifically, Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, or more specifically, the strange case, or possibly the strange case of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. I do believe, or the curious case of Dr. Benjamin and Mr. Button. Anyway, Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, the original Nintendo classic, now will be in my collection and going in the kind of beat up case that I got in a recent eBay purchase. So, empty case meet clean looking cartridge. Jekyll and Hyde. Y'all know this one from AVGN, and it's terrible. I've played the emulated version, and it's bad. So, I'm excited to have it in the collection now. Alright, and we'll move on to the last stop of the video, which is to say the last stop of my shopping day. And that was Price Busters Games, which over the years has gone from when I first went there to having a pretty nice selection of games taking up at least half of the store, basically half of the store, and the other half being cards, like sports cards and CCG stuff. Lots of Magic. Anyway, they went from having kind of half and half, split down the middle, and a good selection of games. They've shrunk and shrunk and shrunk to now that it takes up like an eighth, I don't know, of the store, and the cards and the related things like Funko Pops are filling up the place, and that's sad for me to see, but whatever. They still had some stuff for me. So, yeah, I went in there and I picked up a loose copy of Tony Hawk's American Wasteland on the GameCube, and ironically, it is a circular disc, not a cubicle disc. But yeah, so that's for filling up the empty case I have there. For thaw, because I thought that for a pretty good price. No. And then we also got Fire Pro Wrestling Returns on the PlayStation 2, and it is complete. I've always wanted to try the Fire Pro games. This one was $13, and that was a pretty good price for this, and it was in real good shape and complete. So yeah, Fire Pro Wrestling is, unlicensed, at least not for American wrestlers, but apparently people go to great lengths to recreate their favorite wrestling all-stars and so on. So there's loads of creation capability and stuff in here. Now this being PlayStation 2, it's probably not easy to get people's, downloaded rosters or whatever these days, but it should be fine. Everybody says that the wrestling mechanics are better in this 2D isometric gameplay than on just about any other wrestling game series. Again, I don't play a lot of wrestling games. I don't watch wrestling. Used to back in the Raw days, but it's it's not something I'm into. But this always looked like it'd be fun, so found it in a store and I had to pick it up. And speaking of finding things in the store that sounded interesting and just might be, we have Disney's Guilty Party. You are the detective. Can you find the guilty party? And yeah, it seems like it's basically Clue, or maybe a kind of acting out or sort of role playing a mystery, like a murder mystery kind of thing, a whodunit. I don't know about murder. It's Disney thing, and other than, and you know, your little Bambi's mother, there's not too many murders to worry about in Disney stuff. Yeah, but kind of detective-y, whodunit kind of thing. That looked like it would be fun. I heard about it somewhere or another and thought, hey, there it is, complete. I'll give it a try. And finally, we got a couple of pickups on the
Sega Dreamcast,
including Blue Stinger, a game that I've seen for years and never picked up. It's complete, but it is some manner of action game. Play an action movie. Use the all-new US version Follow Cam assistant and adjustable camera as you swim, dive, climb, fight, and blast through a cinematic 3D world. So, I've heard that it was fun. that's all. I don't know. And finally, speaking of things that are on the Dreamcast, we got Virtual On Oratorio Tangram, which is, I guess the full title is Cyber Troopers Virtual On Oratorio Tangram. And I used to have this on the Sega Dreamcast, and I played it for a while, and then I'm almost certain I traded it back into GameStop like a dummy. So yeah, I wanted it back, and they had it at Price Busters, and it went for like $50, which is not a great deal, but it's, you know, what it goes for. And I was glad to have it in the collection. And that's it. It was a very long day. I was exhausted from going all over Pensacola and looking at gobs and gobs of games and all sorts of things I would have loved to bring home. But gotta rein it in at something, and I managed to rein it in at 2 consoles and a dozen games or whatever it is sitting over there. No, probably 20. I don't know. Lots of games. But glad to add them to the collection. This is fun. I did my shopping trip on Sunday and then spent the whole rest of the week hanging out with the family and playing at the beach. So good time was had by all. And here we are, recapping it for you guys. Thanks for watching. I'm going to try and find a place for all these games on the shelf. It's not going to really work out. As you can see, everything's all stacked on top of each other. But they'll go somewhere, and we'll add it to the collection, because that's what I like to do. And we'll keep you posted on the next time I have pickups and other similar video game tomfoolery. Thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. Thanks for your comments. Thanks for your likes. Thanks for your little heart thing that means something. And thanks for being a part of this video game related channel of stuff. Alright. Bye.